Yes, please reply.
Good morning, students. Good
Good
morning,
morning,
Good
ma'am.
morning,
students.
ma'am.
তোমালোকৰ ভইচ একদম অহা নাই।
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Am I audible to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You are audible, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Today my internet gives lots of problems. Okay. So can we start the class now? Hello,
Yes,
students.
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Today our topic is market price determination. Last class I told you that we already completed our demand and supply topic. So after that, that two basic concept, demand and supply, next we will discuss market price determination. That means how we will determine price of a commodity in the market, because we all know that initially what we have to do, we have to produce some commodity. So when we will produce, when there is a demand. From whose side demand is generated? Demand is generated from the side of the consumer. Okay. So that means consumer determines the demand of the commodity. Consumers determine the demand. So this indicates that whatever your demand, according to the demand of a commodity, the producers produces their commodities. So when the producers or suppliers produces their commodities, they have to supply those commodity in the market. So last class I told you that if anyone produces any commodity that is not demand, for demand they have to determine, for supply they have to determine one particular price of the commodity. That means they have to exchange the commodity, they have to sell the commodity in the market. So when they sell the commodity in the market, they have to determine the price. That means at what rate, what price they will sell those their produces commodity in the market. So when they are going to sell the commodity, they have to determine, they have to adjust their prices. So how they will determine the price of their commodity? So that is called market price determination. Okay, is it clear till now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so who will determine market price? Who will determine?
Ma'am, consumer, ma'am.
No,
Consumer.
Consumer.
so you are the consumer. Can you determine the price of a commodity?
No, no, ma'am.
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
No, then
No,
who
ma'am.
determine? Can the
According to demand.
yeah, according to demand, and not only demand, they need both demand and supply. Because if there is only demand, suppose you demanded a commodity, and whatever the supply of the commodity, then we have to determine the price. So both demand and supply are necessary to determine the market price. Suppose there are 5 commodity in the market. Okay, so suppose you are 10 consumers. So 10 consumer want to purchase the commodity, and how much commodity supplied in the market? There are 5 commodity. So what happened if the demand, now in this case what happened, demand is more. How much consumer demanded? 10 consumer. What is the amount of supply? Supply is only 5. That means supply is half of the demand. Then what the producers, what the suppliers do? They will increase the price of the commodity, because they know that there are lots of consumers, there are lots of demanded the commodity in the market, but supply is low. So what they will do, they will increase the price of the commodity. Suppose what happens, suppose we assume that in this case someone not purchase the commodity. Suppose price is initially 10 rupees and now price increases to 20 rupees. So suppose first individual will not purchase the commodity. What the market will do? The second consumer will purchase the commodity, because there is not any scarcity of the consumers. Consumers are available, but whose scarcity? Scarcity is of the supplies. Okay, so they will increase the price of the commodity. So by studying the market situation, they will increase the price of the commodity. Now in the second situation, what happened if the price demand is more? Suppose, demand is less. Suppose there are demand is 5 consumers and supply is more. Suppose there are 10 commodities supplied in the market. That means we know that according to our law of demand, if the price is more, then demand will be low. Now in this case what happened, demand is already low. So what the producers do, they will reduce their prices of their commodities. Why they reduce their prices? Because according to law of demand, if price reduces, the commodities demand increases. Clear? Yes, student.
Yes, ma'am.
Is
Yes,
there
ma'am.
is there any doubt till now? So first of all, what happened?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, first of all, what happened? If demand is low, suppose demand is 5, supply is 10, that means supply is more, then what the producers do? Supply more, demand low. So they have to sell their commodity. Okay. They will reduce the price of the commodity. If they reduces their prices, then what happen? Then demand generate and they will able to sell all of their products. Second situation, what happen? If demand is more and supply is low. If supply is low and demand is more, then they will increase their prices. Second situation, what happen? If demand is less and supply is more, so they will reduce their prices. So in one case they increase their price, in another case they reduce their prices, and thus the market price of a commodity determine. Okay, so what are the two basic things to determine the price? First of all, we have to study the demand of the commodity in the market. Secondly, we have to study the supply. So third thing is that whatever the supply, the basic thing is that they have some cost of production. So cost of production means whatever commodity they produce, they need certain raw material, they need labor cost, they need their rented house or their building cost, so electricity cost, their machinery cost, so lots of costs are there. So they have to add up all those costs, and after make a summation of all those costs, whatever the total cost, they determine the price of the commodity. Okay. Second slide. Okay. So you see in the slide, it is written that the price of a commodity determines with the help of market demand curve and market supply curve. So now we will discuss the market price determination through the help of the diagrams. So that means the first point indicates that we need two curve. One is demand curve and the another one is supply curve. So you notice the term market demand curve. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. Where is, yeah, this is the term market demand curve. Yes. So till now, whatever demand curve we talk, so those are the individual demand curves. But here, when we determine the market price of a commodity, we need the market demand and the market supply. Now, what is market demand? Market demand is nothing, it is the demand of the total market. So, how we will get market demand? If we add up all the individuals demand curve, then we will get the market demand curve. Clear?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay. So suppose we assume that in the market there are 100 individuals. So this indicates if there are 100 individuals, then each of the individuals have their own demand curve. So 100 individuals have 100 individual demand curve. So if we add up the 100 individual demand curves, then we will get the market demand curve. Clear? Similarly, in case of market supply curve also, so suppose there are 50 suppliers. So each supplier have their own individual supply curve. So if there are 50 suppliers, then if we add up all the supply curves, then we will get the market supply curve. Clear? So you just read the slide. If you have any problem, then inform me. Okay, just read this slide once again. Okay, now do you have any problem with this slide?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, all of you know? I just hear 2 or 3 students' voice. What about the other? There are 33 or 35 students in the class. So how many students? There are 33 participants. No, na? All of you know?
No,
Okay,
ma'am.
then
Yes,
can we
ma'am.
scroll down? We will go move to the
Yes,
second
ma'am.
slide.
Yes.
Third
Okay,
slide,
ma'am.
sorry.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So this is the next slide. So this is how we will determine the market price. So first see the lines. When the market demand curve and market supply curves intersect with each other, the market price of a commodity is determined. Okay, so already we know that. So there are market demand curve and market supply curves. So they have to intersect at one point because one is upward sloping curve, the another one is downward sloping curve. So if we draw two curves in a graph, then obviously they will intersect, they will connect at one point, and that particular point is the equilibrium point. Okay, so see in the figure. So this is the, we know that this is OX axis. This is OX axis and this is OY axis. So the x-axis, that means OX axis, is measures the quantity demanded in the market. So how much quantity demand in the market, and this OY axis measures the prices of the commodity. Okay, so how many prices are given? So there are 3 prices is given, P1, P2 and P3. So let's we start with P2 price. So that means this is origin O. So this is P2. So suppose the price of the commodity is P2. So initially this is the demand curve. Do you remember the shape of the demand curve and supply curve? Do you remember?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
So we know
Yes,
that the
ma'am.
demand curve is a downward sloping curve. The supply curve is a upward sloping curve. Okay. So this is, we draw, first of all, we draw this is market demand curve. That means this curve indicates the demand of all the individuals who belongs to the market. So this is the market supply curve. Okay. So now what happened at this point? These two curves intersect. Yes, they intersect at this point. So we name this point as point E. Clear? So we
Yes,
assume
ma'am.
this is the equilibrium point. Equilibrium point means the where demand and supply are equal. So suppose the price of the commodity is P2. So if it is P2, then what is the amount of commodity demanded in the market. So P2 we have to join, because you remember always demand is determined, the quantity demand is determined only on the demand curve, not on the supply curve, because demand is the basic thing. So so if we draw a perpendicular line to the demand curve and we draw this line, vertical line, then we will get this much of quantity demand. So that means at equilibrium point, P2 is the price, and when the price is P2, quantity demand, amount of quantity demand is OQ2, and then the price is determined. Okay, so at equilibrium point, the price will be determined of a commodity. Now suppose what happen if the price is P1. So P1 is the point which is above the equilibrium point. Okay, what is the equilibrium price? This is P2 is the equilibrium price. So P1 price is above the equilibrium price. So if it is P1, then what happened? What is the amount of demand? The amount, because demand will be determined at only demand curve. Okay, so this is P1 C. P1A is the amount of demand of a commodity, and what is the amount of supply? P1B is the amount of supply. So that means high price, low demand. Okay, so AB, this AB is the portion which is excess supply. That means at, if P1 is the price, we already know that if price increases, demand reduces. If price increases, supply also increase or decrease?
Increase, ma'am.
Supply increase. So supply, now look, what is the amount of supply? If P2 supply is this much, so if price increases, automatically supply from this point to this point, supply increases. Okay, so but demand is reduces. So initially P2 demand is this much. If price increases, this price demand is reduces. So this point. So this is AB is the portion of excess supply. So this much of supply will not sell in the market if the market price is determined at
Ma'am, hello,
P1
ma'am.
price. Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
Now is it clear? Is it clear now? Hello?
Ma'am, it's
Hello?
clear.
It's clear now,
It's
no?
clear, ma'am.
Okay. So can you understood what will happen if price is determined at P1? Now what's the time? It's
Yes, ma'am.
9:49, 9:50 almost. Now he came, Ankit Singh. Okay. Now if price is P1 increases, demand reduces and supply increases. So this much of AB is the amount of excess supply, and this amount will not sell. The consumer is not able to sell in the market. Okay. To sell this excess supply, what the consumer, what the producer have to do? They have to reduce the price of the commodity. So suppose this much, they determine their price at this point, suppose. Okay, so when this much, then what happen? You see, little bit of demand increases and little bit of supply reduces. Again they will reduce their price. So little bit of, again, demand increases, little bit of supply reduces. So the gap between demand and supply is gradually fall down at, and at finally when it reach to this point, P2 point, the equilibrium price and demand is determined. That means at this point, whatever commodity produces in the market, they will able to sell it. You got it?
Yes, ma'am.
You got it. Okay. Now
Yes,
what
ma'am.
happen if
Yes,
price
ma'am.
is low? The opposite situation. If price is low, then the equilibrium price according to the law of demand, the demand will increase. When price reduces, demand increases. Now what is the demand? The demand is at this point, that the point. Okay. And what is the supply? Because we know that if price falls, supply also falls. So what is the supply? Supply is at this point. Okay, this C point. So what happened now? This is the excess supply is low, demand is more. So what happened? This CD is the portion of excess demand. Okay, that means demand is more than the supply. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, students, are you clear?
Yes,
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 ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, now
Ma'am.
what the producer do to overcome this situation, this excess demand situation? They will gradually, again, excess demand means supply is also low, correct? So what they will do to reduce demand and to increase supply, they will start to increase or raise the price of their commodity. So at this point, suppose prices they determine at this point. Okay, so at this point what happened? Demand supply is at this point, that means little bit of supply increases. Now what is the amount of demand? Again, and demand is at this point, that means little bit of demand falls. So the gap is reduces, the excess demand gap is reduces. So gradually they will increase the price of their commodity, and finally they will reach the price OP2, and they will settle down this price in the market of their particular commodity. Clear? All of you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
uh do you have any problem, any student have any kind of problem with this diagram? If you have, then inform me. Check the diagram again, check the diagram, try to understood it again and again, because you have to draw this diagram in your exam or whatever. If you not if you give online exams, then also you may have questions with this diagram. So just try to understood this diagram. Okay, if you have any doubt, then inform me.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, no problem now. Yes, students.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then can we move it out to the next slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so just read this slide. Here is nothing that I have to explain. Just read the this slide again. Just 1 second. All of you completed this slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay. I think there is no doubt.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So can I move to the next slide? You read it again.
Okay, ma'am.
What is the next slide? No, this is the last slide. Okay. Are you all clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any doubt with these two slides?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
So all of you, the answer is same, or someone have some different answer? Okay, can I wind up this topic here?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is all about your market price determination. That means how we will determine the price of a commodity in a market. So how much possible, I try to explain my best to you all. So if you have any doubt, then just inform me on my next class. Okay. Next day, we
Okay,
will
ma'am.
discuss some another topic,
Ma'am.
like suppose elasticity of demand, most probably. So tomorrow, I think we have not any class. So Wednesday, we have class or no? I think we don't have any class on Wednesday, right?
No, ma'am, we don't
Okay.
have.
Okay. So next class we have on our Thursday. So just now give your attendance. Okay. 1 to 10. 1
Ma'am,
to
5.
5,
Ma'am, 4.
4,
Ma'am, 2.
2.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, 2,
09.
ma'am.
Huh?
09.
9.
4.
Any 4, 5, 4, 2, 9. Anyone in between 1 to 10? No. Then 11 to 20.
Ma'am, 13.
13.
Ma'am, 20.
13, 20. Then anyone in between 11 to 20? So 21 to 30.
26, ma'am.
26, 30,
24.
20, 24, 21, 24, 21, yes,
28.
28, then
28, ma'am.
28 given, and okay, 30 to 40.
Ma'am, 31.
34.
Do you know this Ankit Singh? Still he's waiting.
34,
He's
ma'am.
trying to enter in the class.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
31.
39.
Okay,
I'm
30,
34.
39, 34,
37.
37,
31.
31, 31, 34, 37, 39, right? Till 40. Then 40 to 50, 41 to
Ma'am,
50,
41.
40,
41.
48, ma'am.
Ma'am, 49.
41, 48, then
49.
49,
Ma'am,
then
44.
44, then
Ma'am, 43. 43.
43, 41, 48, 49, 44, 43. Then in between 50 to 60,
58, ma'am.
58, 53, yes,
57, ma'am.
55, 56,
59.
57.
59, 57, okay. Then 60 to 70,
64.
65, ma'am.
65,
64.
65, 64, huh?
67, ma'am.
60,
66.
61,
Ma'am, 64.
Ma'am,
62,
67.
haha,
66.
66,
67.
Ma'am,
67,
64.
64 given, 67,
Ma'am, 66.
66 given. Okay,
Okay,
I will
ma'am.
send this roll numbers in the group. You check it. If anyone left, then give your roll number. Okay. So next we will meet on Thursday. You just check your roll numbers, and whatever I will able to give the attendance, I will give it. Okay.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.